Am I the butthole for leaving my roommate's kid home alone? I told him I couldn't babysit because I had work. He asked me to just stay home and I didn't. I am a 25-year-old woman and my roommate is a 30-year-old man. We're just roommates, he's not really a friend. He found out a few months ago that he has a 7-year-old child with a woman he had a one-night stand with years ago. He has partial custody and I was planning on moving out when the lease is up in April because I didn't really want to be living with a parent or family. I had been looking for a roommate who's a quiet young professional because I work from home 3 days a week and like a quiet space. Yesterday, my roommate asked over text if I would be home today. I said yes. He asked, could look after his daughter today. I said no, I had work. He said that I wouldn't have to do much, his daughter was pretty independent and I wouldn't have to take time away from work. Just be there in case she needs anything. I said that I didn't really want to split my attention. He said that she wouldn't need hardly any attention, and I dropped it there because I didn't want to argue. So I thought that was resolved. I thought he realized I declined. This morning, I was expecting to work from home but I got an urgent call from the office, they needed me there ASAP. So I grabbed my laptop and ran out the door without stopping for anything, didn't stop for breakfast or even a shower. I saw his daughter in the living room watching TV and I didn't see my roommate there but I didn't think anything of it. He spends a lot of time in his bedroom so I wasn't surprised to not see him there. Honestly, it barely registered because I was stressed and preoccupied with the thing going wrong at work. I went to the office for the morning and my co-workers and I resolved the issue in time for everyone to head home for lunch. And when I got home, my roommate was there and he was mad, saying I had told him I'd be home all day and then he comes back and I'm out and I've left his daughter home alone after he asked me to look after her. I was baffled and said that I'd said I couldn't babysit. He said that he thought we established that I wouldn't need to babysit, just be present just in case. I said I didn't agree to that and I had not tried to lie to him. I had to go to work urgently because something unexpected went wrong. He was mad at me for being so head in the clouds for seeing a little kid alone when I'd already knew she might be home alone, and he'd already asked me to just be there in the apartment, and just running out the door. I said I had enough going on, I didn't have the mental energy to take responsibility for his kid at all, I have work and my own responsibilities. He told me that he wasn't expecting me to take responsibility, just do the bare minimum of consideration. Am I the butthole for leaving my roommate's kid home alone? NTA, not your child, not your problem. Especially since you already told him no. If he wants to be in this kid's life, he's going to have to learn how to parent, including finding reliable babysitters. It's not your responsibility to do that for him. Not to mention the fact that in the unlikely event something went wrong, then the roommate would have pinned it all on Op. Stand firm, Op, and do not agree to watch his kid for any length of time. Not the butthole. They wouldn't have done anything since Op would have the messages and it clearly states that they said no to looking after the kid. If anything, I could consider this child abandonment from the roommate's part. I agree the roommate couldn't make any complaints, stick to original poster, but they were already acting unreasonable and entitled. Yes, he was acting entitled and unreasonable. It would be bad on Op if she knew that she was leaving a 7-year-old child alone. Harm might come to the child, and original poster might be held legally responsible, misunderstanding or not. I would make a notarized affidavit detailing the event, and tell him that if he leaves the child without a sitter again, he might be picking her up at CPS. He is a new dad, and someone might need to make clear to him, not everyone wants to be his babysitter, at any time he needs one, paid or unpaid. He needs to have a few babysitters that he can call on, they need to be well vetted, well treated and well paid, and so they will want to come help him whenever he needs them. Not the butthole. Except he's not a new dad. Kid is 7. Edit, he just found out a few months ago. My mistake. He is new. Yup. Definitely not the butthole. I have no idea how can any parent even think of doing that. I have seen a couple of similar posts here lately, parents leaving kids alone or with people that can't take care of them, like another slightly older child. What are these people thinking? I have 2 kids and I cannot possibly imagine a reason to leave them alone in a house, or anywhere, unsupervised, or hell, with someone I don't completely trust, like very close family or a trusted professional I am paying for. They are supposed to be the thing you care about most in the world, and you decide to just let them do whatever like a puppy? What are they doing that you cannot take them in an emergency? Or why can you not arrange a professional service? I mean, it is expensive, but any normal parent has one on call just for unexpected issues. I admit I may be a bit biased, since often it seems my two boys have some sort of a death wish, and get themselves in dangerous situations all the time, like climbing everywhere, scavenging for tools, getting on the roof, trying to start the fire pit, and all sorts of crap like that. Bias aside, it's basic sense not to leave kids unattended for extended periods of time. Which I'm assuming happened too, because it seems original poster hadn't yet come out of her bedroom, no showy/breakfast. It's mind-boggling the roommate couldn't even touch base with original poster before going off to do whatever it is they had to do. Shaking my head. I have no kids but still agree with your train of thought. You don't know what they could get into, as confident as roommate may see his kid as. Op is not the butthole. Right? What parent leaves the house without telling the other sleeping adult they are leaving and kid needs their supervision? There is always a handoff even between parents. Even if original poster had agreed to babysit, the roommate failed basic parenting 101 when he left the house without waking up his expected babysitter. The type of parent that already knows they've been told no about the other person watching their child and still fails to make arrangements for the child. He knew original poster would refuse to watch the kid if he woke her up. I bet the dad left hoping she'd see his kid and she change her plans and just babysit. Hell, I make sure my husband knows when I'm leaving the house so that he's 100% aware he's in charge of our kid and she's a teenager. First rule of childcare is the person in charge of the child has to know they are in charge of the child. It's not biased, it's basic parenting. I lived with a single mom as a roommate once, even though it was in our agreement that I would look after her child sometimes because she paid most of the rent. She still checked multiple times before leaving. We are still friends, by the way, multiple years after we don't live together or even in the same area. That is simply called consideration. My husband and I have a 3-month-old and we have a firm handoff of do you have the baby? When caring for him. We never assume the other parent has him without a firm, I have the baby. This is giving me a momentary silly vision of sailors in uniform on a battleship transferring control of the ship, but replacing it with baby. XO, you have the baby. I have the baby. With a baby strapped to the helm. Maybe I shouldn't read Reddit when I first wake up. Exactly, who just leaves a kid somewhere without making sure to physically pass on their kid to the person who will be looking after them? I don't understand it. Not the butthole. Someone who knows the other person didn't agree to babysit and is hoping that by not being there, the other person will cave and look after the kid because it's very hard to walk out when you're the only person there. They just didn't account for original poster underestimating how crafty their parenting is and getting called away. I don't think it's completely biased, really. My older daughter hasn't ever gotten into half the crap her two younger brothers have. Mine, too, climb everything, start trouble constantly. I won't say it's a boy thing because I've known some girls that start the kind of trouble I myself did as a kid, lol, but boys do seem to have a higher likelihood for climbing and destruction. My daughter is a teenager and we are not huge fans of leaving her to babysit. The closest she gets is when I go outside for gardening or for jogging/biking. And I'm always right in the neighborhood, so it's really not like I'm far. I wonder if there's any way original poster can get in touch with the kid's mom to give them a heads up on the kind of parenting happening. Yes, the thought of that child being left alone for hours or left in the company of strangers at all breaks my heart. My 6-year-old would be so upset if this happened to him. I know. It's neglectful. 7 is not old enough to look after yourself while someone is working. Call CPS if he tries to pull that move again. And the child's mother. I'm sure she wouldn't be very happy if she found out that he was leaving their child alone and expecting strangers to watch her. Absolutely tell the mother now. This happening once is too many times, and if it was my kid I would want to know/limit access to supervised visits only. He definitely snuck out thinking he'd be leaving Op with no choice but to stay. This dude is a deadbeat dad and honestly people should be notified. Screw that, call CPS now. No need to wait. If you can contact the mother directly, then you are better off doing that. If the mother wants to involve lawyers and whatnot, that's her prerogative. If the mother will not cooperate, then you would have to involve CPS, but it is better to avoid it when possible. When you leave your child with someone, you don't walk away without making sure the someone is watching the child. This dad failed on so many levels. He walked away without a word because he knew the original poster had repeatedly said she wouldn't babysit. So he snuck out and figured she would be forced to watch his daughter. I feel incredibly sorry for the daughter, but the original poster did nothing wrong. She hadn't been told that the dad was leaving and had no reason to think that the child would be alone, and had said that she wouldn't babysit. The dad is wrong again and again. If it happens again, call CPS. Exactly this. He snuck out, so that original poster would feel bad for the kid and stay home, despite original poster repeatedly saying no to babysitting. Babysitting in its essence is accepting responsibility for the welfare of the child, and not just playing with the kid. Absolutely agree. Finding capable and consistent childcare is part of the job of being a parent. If you refuse to secure the well-being of your child, you shouldn't be a parent. This responsibility doesn't fall on original poster in the slightest. Yeah, dopey dad, the one who needs to take responsibility and not fob his kid off on any random who happens by. And from the sound of it, original poster is pretty much a random to the dude. Just distant roommates, nothing more. For the sake of that poor child, original poster needs to make it clear that original poster will not be noticing whether or not dopey dad is in his room before original poster leaves the apartment. That's a parent/caregiver thing, and original poster wants no part of it. But to make sure the little girl is safe, original poster needs to make this point blisteringly clear. Make it clear to him that you will not babysit ever in the future. He told me that he wasn't expecting me to take responsibility, just do the bare minimum of consideration. NTA. No to babysitting, no to nothing. A normal person would have gotten the hint at least twice at this point. If not being there to watch her doesn't get the point across, nothing will. Not the butthole. If he really thought that you had agreed to babysit, he would have let you know that he was leaving so you would know to check in on the child periodically. He opted to slip away without telling you, assuming that once you realized that the child had been left with you, you would have to keep an eye on her. That's a good point actually. I was thinking perhaps it was a miscommunication because she didn't reply no after his last message, which would have still made him ta, but to a lesser extent. But with that as well, it feels like they knew and were just dumping the kid anyway. He absolutely knew. No responsible parent leaves their child with anyone without at least a few instructions. It doesn't sound like they had even met before this. He knew what he was doing, figured he could get away with it. Personally, I think original poster should tell the kid's mom, but yup, that's why he was mad later. Agreed, and yes, original poster needs to let the mom know what happened immediately, because it's pretty obvious he can't be responsible enough to figure out other options to accommodate the kid. He could end up putting her in a really bad situation, and if left unattended she could hurt herself or something. This is straight up child negligence. No, that's not the point. The point is not that she didn't say no, the point is she didn't say yes, and as a society we need to understand that and accept that when you aren't told yes, you're being told no. Jesus Christ, do some people need to learn this? Nothing other than yes means yes. This too. I don't need you to babysit, I just need you to. Definition of babysitting. And where the F was he? At work? Original poster can watch the kid while working, but he can't? F that guy. Not the butthole. Right? I'm with you on this. You take off work to watch your own kid, butthole. Yes, this is exactly right. And there are frequent similar stories on this sub, people trying to trick others into childcare by quietly dumping the kid and running. It's totally negligent and dangerous, and the sign of a crafty parent. Anyone with basic common sense and who actually cares about the kid in question makes sure that the babysitter is A, there, B, conscious and sober, and C, consenting to provide the child with care, before leaving the premises. Anything less is negligence. NTA, call CPS the next time he thinks he is entitled to your time. It's extreme but necessary. You're his roommate, not his partner. His children are not yours to care for. He can hire a babysitter. If he's just going to leave a child with you and you say no, he is being neglectful of his child, not you. Original poster. I would warn the mother first. She might not know about him leaving their kid alone. She could ask for a new custody arrangement or for him to get an apartment alone. Because if CPS is called first, it could cause problems for her she might not deserve. He might be agreeing to partial custody to get away with paying less in child support. This gives her ammunition to get more child support out of him if he can't be trusted with visitation. Honestly, I'd call CPS now. He has already endangered his child once. Why wait? Why not try to prevent the next time? NTA, but seriously, do this kid a favor and reach out to CPS. God bless them, even smart kids are pretty dumb, and an unsupervised 7-year-old could easily burn a house down or fatally injure themselves. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.